everyone, it's Pete here. So today we're going to be having a look at the Scorched parts in a fender or mudguard kit for the Arrma Senton. Now the Senton here is a great RC truck, but one problem that this has and other short course trucks have and rally cars have is where the body goes over the wheels, all the mud coming off the tyres gets directed inside the car. And it becomes a real issue, especially in the winter. And it got so bad in the winter with all the mud going inside that I've been running it like this with the big rock body and the granite wheels and the big rock sidebars. But it's a bit drier out now, so I want to try it again as the Senton. And I'm going to see if this inner fender set helps to keep the debris out of the chassis. So in the box you get an instruction sheet. You get some screws, a bit of wire and some spacers. And you get the fenders, which are all in one piece, which you need to cut out. So in the instructions they show you where you've got to cut this out, and Scorched Parts have also done a video about this, so I won't go into too much detail of the cutting out. You can refer to their video for that. So I've just cut it roughly in half to make it easier to handle. Now on their video they're talking about some scissors being supplied. I guess they've changed that because I didn't get any, but luckily I've got some Lexan scissors here. So I've done a bit of a rough job. It's quite tough plastic, which is obviously a good thing because you want it to be durable. I'm not going to trim any more off until I've offered it up to the car to see exactly how it fits. So I'll trim up the other side now and then see how it fits on the car. So let's do a little test fit. So I've undone the screws on these. You don't need these bits, but you do need these side bumper bits. I've taken the screws out of those because they give you some longer screws in the kit. All right, let's see how this fits then. So I think this is this side. So these holes go over the body posts. Okay, so that goes something like that. Right, so they seem to fit okay. You can see the steering is just hitting that bit there, so I have to trim a little bit away there, but otherwise I think it's about right. Another thing you've got to do is with the body post holes here, because once you've got the wheel arches over there, the hole will be too low down for you to get the body clips through once you've got the body on. So you need to extend the hole upwards, and what they give you is this bit of wire, and you need to heat it up and poke it through there and sort of melt the plastic up a little bit to make the hole a little bit higher. Seems a bit Heath Robinson, but I guess that's the easiest way they've found to do it. So obviously you need to hold it with something, so I'm going to use these mole grips. And you need something like a cigarette lighter. I've got like a camping fire lighter. So that's extended the hole up a little bit, so I'll do that on all four and then have a test fit and see how it works. So I'll go through these with a drill as well, tie him up. Now, because I put extra plastic inside the body here to protect the body post holes, I've had to extend the post holes up quite a bit, but I can now get the body clips through. You have to be very careful not to pull the thing straight through the top, actually, because when you've got that hot wire, you could easily just pull it straight through the top, so be very careful. You've got a decent amount of plastic above the hole there. So it all seems to work, so I need to attach these properly now. So what they give you is these longer screws and these spacers, and what you need to do is to put the spacers on top of there, then put this on and put the screws through. See, I'm looking at this, I think it wouldn't hurt to put a washer on there as well, just to sort of protect the plastic a little bit. Right, so that's that done. What I've noticed is they don't sort of sit nicely on the back post, they seem to ping up a bit, and I have got the body posts on the upper of the two settings, so anyway, there'll just be a bit of a fiddle when you get the body on just to squash that down, but let's have a go. Right, it all seems to fit okay, and it looks like it ought to protect the inside of the chassis from debris, but will it? Well, let's see. Okay, so here I'm in the woods where there's plenty of stuff on the ground that might end up getting stuck in the chassis, but I'm fully confident that the fenders will keep it out. So maybe not. to be fair. I think it's better than it would have been without the fenders, but they obviously don't keep everything out. So I carried on testing and I came to the conclusion that the fenders definitely help. I think with an RC where the body covers the wheels, you're always going to get more stuff going inside than you will with an open wheel truck like the Granite or whatever. So I think when it's really muddy in the winter, it's still best to use those cars with the exposed wheels, and you can leave these ones for the summer when it's just loose stuff that you can shake out again. Now I know you can get covers for the chassis like the Dusty Motors cover, and I guess it is good where it's sort of dry stuff going in, but you can imagine if it's really thick mud, again it's going to be still quite a clean up operation when you get back home. So this area is the gun range, which is where people go to shoot guns and drop rubbish by the looks of things. So apart from the rubbish, the ground here is mostly sand, so let's see how it gets on. So not too bad. I'm not sure if that's because the sand's quite dry and it gets shaken out again when the car rolls over. Right, I'm just back from the test run, so let's have a quick look at this before I clean it. So I didn't really go through any wet mud or anything, but slightly damp soil and sand, and you see it still gets stuck under there, which isn't sort of protected by the fenders here. So you do get that kind of stuck under the fender, so you can imagine if you go through a lot of really wet mud in the winter, it's all going to get caked under there, so you've still got much more of a clean-up job than you have on an open wheel sort of truck. So in summary, these are pretty good and they do help, but for me I'm still going to say the Senton body for the drier months. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.